Hello everybody, welcome into the original location of the aquaponic shop here. We're doing today's aeroponic update, and we're going to take a quick look at the beer bottle I'm using upstairs to try and clone that sand dollar pepper. Really hoping that works. Kind of seems to be, but I'll let you make that judgment for yourself in just a couple minutes. First, let's take a look at the aeroponics. Got a nice little sunbeam on parts of it here at the moment. As you can see, there's not a lot of signs of wilting going on. I have pulled out one of the apple trees so far because it didn't make it. We got a willow over here that looks like it's not really doing terribly well. But let's take a look at some of the individual plants and decide from there. First up we have, I believe these are the currants. Not really seeing too much in the way of wilting on here. There's a few little tiny bumps that maybe could be the start of roots, but I'm not seeing anything definitive there yet. Let's check these other two really quickly. Yeah, there's a bit that could maybe, but I'm hoping for some definitive white roots out of these puppies. Still, they are, you know, kind of a woody cutting, so as long as it's not wilting and dying, I'm taking that as a positive sign that it's getting started. Next we've got the gooseberries. Similar to the currants, there's no real signs of wilting going on there yet. But I don't see anything that looks like root starts either. Now, when we come to this black lace elderberry cutting here, very short cutting. As we look up in there though, I'm seeing lots of little white dots. So I'm thinking we have the beginning of a successful clone for the black lace elderberry. So that's exciting. Check the next one here in line, and again I'm seeing little white nubs. Fantastic, that's 2. And number 3, dare we hope. This one doesn't seem to be producing any of those yet, but that's a very green and healthy looking leaf cutting still. So, not giving up hope there. Next we have the Saskatoons. Now that does look a little wilty. Let's get a little closer and see. That does almost look like a root start though. Give those some more time. We'll see what comes of all that. Not seeing anything on that one. Or that one. Next we've got the Borealis Haskaps. Not seeing any rooting on that. But again, it's a very woody sort of cutting. It's my understanding those take a lot longer to form root starts. And again, it's you know, not wilting. Next we've got here, these are the what are these? Ah, these are the orange habaneros I pulled from the pop bottles. And we can see definitely some root growth going on in there. Be very curious to see how these do. I'm going to just leave them in this system for as long as I can, because why not? Yeah, those are all looking just fine. Now, let's take a look at this dying looking willow cutting here. It's got roots though, right? So maybe a little more light would be beneficial into this tote area. Ooh, I got caught on something. What does that mean? Those are nice and solid. You poke an eye out with those things. Alright, so that started to root even though we just lost a leaf. And the remaining willow cutting, it's definitely got roots on it. Okay. Not surprised that willows root. They like to root. Not surprised that tomato cuttings root. I don't think these ones have, but these are some bush beefsteaks I just put in, I think 3 days ago. The previous tomato cuttings from this corner have already been planted out into the garden and into containers. Now here we have the red Thai chili pepper. And that's kind of what this is all about for me, is trying to clone these peppers. Doesn't look like it's wilting and dying. Doesn't look like it's putting out roots. Just keep on waiting for that. That's quite interesting though, because it looks like the one in the pop bottle does, or the beer bottle does have root nubs on it. I'll show you that in a minute. Here's the apple tree. It's started to get some roots. Its leaves aren't looking great, but it's got roots, so we'll see how that turns out. The other remaining apple tree just lost a leaf in my hands. But that may be a root on the very tip of it. It's hard to tell. And we've got the tomato cutting that I tried to clone in the aquaponics. And as you can see, it's doing much better now. Need to get that aquaponic garden under control. There's the kale I brought over from the aquaponics. It's definitely dead. We got a Cherokee purple cutting I put in here a little while back. Clearly enjoying this environment. This oregano cutting hasn't done anything yet though, I don't think. I mean, it's grown, it's stretched anyway, but no roots. And these plum tree cuttings don't seem to be doing terribly well either. Got the one here, it's the greenest of them all. Let's see how it's doing. I don't see any roots on there, but I'm hopeful. Doesn't look too good for these other three though. Still awaiting is. There's the Aeroponic Tote. I've already got, what, 4 tomatoes out of this. Not the 3 in the corner there. 5, I guess, if you count that one that I haven't planted out yet. Looks like the elderberries are rooting. Looks like that one apple tree is rooting. So it's still a very interesting sort of project. Let's go check on that beer bottle though. Because ultimately it's about cloning peppers. And then before we go, I wanted to show you what's going on with the beer bottle here. Got a little bit of what appears to be new growth on the stem there. A little bit on the top. Also looks like some aphids. We pull it up though, and there are what looks to be root starts in the bottom of this. So I'm excited. This seems to actually work better for peppers than the aeroponic thing. It's only been in there 1 or 2 days longer, and there's nothing even remotely close to the beginning of root starts on the one in the aeroponics. So yeah, hopefully next time we see this it'll have some decent actual roots on it, and I can consider putting it into soil and having myself a second one of these pepper plants. Fantastic. Alright everybody, and that is where I'm going to wrap it up today. Just a quick look at the 2 cloning situations I've got going on. I'm really hopeful that the aeroponics will work for the peppers in the long run because, well, it's quick, it's easy, and I don't drink a lot of beer, so I've only got that 1 beer bottle that was left behind by the previous owner. So, yeah. If not, one at a time, I will clone my way through that garden. I tell you what, there's bound to be somebody in town who's got a couple of beer bottles kicking around anyway. So, yeah. Thank you for joining me today, and I will let you go there. Probably going to be it until Sunday in the garden, so I will see you on the tour. Have a fantastic weekend, folks.